You did it, baby!
He said, "You did it, baby," and waved his towel and went out the door.
Okay, high school graduation in Mississippi has, for all intents and purposes, turned into a crime scene. At least 3 people are facing disturbing the peace charges and possible $500 fines and 6 months in jail after, get this, cheering on a family member after her name was called at the Senatobia High School graduation last month. According to the New York Times, one woman, Ursula Miller, was charged for yelling and clapping while inside the building after an announcement had been made for all to hold their applause and celebrating until after the end of the ceremony. Her loud, boisterous noise, the affidavit said, was against the peace and dignity of the state of Mississippi. Jay Foster, the Senatobia school superintendent, said that not only did he tell the graduation crowd before the ceremony to hold their applause until the end, but that there was a warning in the graduation program, which was obtained by the NBC affiliate in Memphis. It reads in part, quote, "Persons responsible for any disruption by loud cheers, shouting, or the use of noisemakers may be promptly escorted from the Coliseum."
When a child do all they can to graduate, it's an honor and a privilege for them to walk that stage. It's a privilege for me to clap and applaud for mine. I kept quiet. I let my son and them do it because they're younger. I was crying because I was so happy for them.
Foster told a local paper, the Clarion Ledger, that there were 4 people who disturbed the ceremony. He was able to get the names of 3 of them and press charges, but still hasn't been able to identify the 4th.
I hope we send the message that everybody deserves a right to hear their child's name called, see their child walk across stage. We're talking about a ceremony that lasts about 55 minutes to an hour.
Joining me now, Dave Feige, former public defender and professor at the National Criminal Defense College. All right, I want to play this one more time, just so we can watch the crime. And a warning to viewers, this is graphic, okay? You have young children around, you may want to shield their eyes. Take a look.
You did it, baby!
The fact that I might have to burn out of jail or pay court costs of a $500 fine for express my love is ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
Are you kidding me?
It's ridiculous, but not even that surprising. You know?
Not that surprising.
Well, it is and it isn't. I mean, obviously the application of this absurd law to this absurd situation is in a way surprising, but it's completely indicative of a way, way larger problem.
And what is that problem?
I would say this, that at this point, our laws, our criminal laws, are so vast, they cover such an extraordinary expanse, and the definitions are so elastic that we can essentially criminalize everything.
Yes. First of all, let me just say this. I've been to some graduations in my day. This is how every graduation...
Well, I hope you didn't say a word.
Well, this is how every graduation I've ever gone to has gone this way. Administrator gets up very sternly and says, "For the sake of everyone, please hold your applause until all names have been read." And everyone goes, "Yes." 3 kids in, everyone's cheering after everyone because no one can help themselves.
For everyone.
Right.
It's wonderful.
So this to me is a key point, right? This wasn't unlawful behavior. This was disorderly behavior, right? In the eyes of the superintendent. And the key is that the law allows people in power to essentially prosecute violations of order as violations of law.
That's exactly right. And that is, in a way, right, the krill of the criminal justice system. It's just omnipresent. It's everywhere, and you can just find it pretty much wherever you want to look. The question is, where do you look? And it's in that use of discretion that I think people find discriminatory policing and things that upset them.
Let me just read you offenses against public order here in New York that just sort of serve as
right.
Yeah. Disorderly conduct, unlawful assembly, loitering, criminal nuisance in the second degree, harassment in the second degree. I mean, the point is that if a police officer or some force of the law wants to say that you are breaking the law in a given circumstance, there's no, they will be able to do so. The criminal code exists to give them the ability to do that.
But and let's just speak about New York, because as you know, I have a bunch of years of experience in the system here. Not only can they do, and it is utterly shocking. You can go to arraignments pretty much tonight from here. We could walk down to criminal court arraignments and you would find people charged with disorderly conduct. And it is one of the things, I'll tell you what it accompanies all the time. It accompanies assault on police officer cases, resisting arrest cases, obstructing governmental administration cases. You'd be amazed at how quickly a violation of public order materializes.
And those tend to be cases of people essentially getting mouthy, being loud and disruptive, right?
Well, or cheering for their kid as they
or
graduate.
cheering, I mean, that's the point.
It's whatever you want it to be in a certain way.
There's also an obvious, I think, racial subtext here, which we should note, right? Which is is like, this is a white superintendent. This is in Mississippi. This is a town that is
a place of great dignity.
Yes, yes, that does not like to have their peace offended.
That's right.
This is the superintendent was. My point is not to have somebody to pay money, but I want them to know there are consequences for their behavior. Stern father figure here, and I want us to have a dignified service.
Okay, well, I'm all for the dignified. Actually, I'm not even for the dignified service. I'm for the enthusiastic,
that's right. I'm from the
congratulatory
Bronx.
service.
People cheer in the Bronx.
That's right. But let's talk about the other bit of this, which is bonding out of jail and the $500 that it costs to secure your freedom after violating the dignity and public order of the state of Mississippi.
There was just a survey about what something like half of American households can't come up with $500.
Well, what's amazing is, and that's right, and tonight at Rikers Island, there's 1,000 or so people sleeping at Rikers Island, pre-trial, convicted of nothing because they cannot come up with $500 bail.
David Feige, always a pleasure. Thank you for joining.
My pleasure.